That's Polar Bear back there.
Polar
right?
Bear back there, yes. That's not a Halloween
I
costume.
thought we were at the San Diego Zoo there for the pandas. No,
No, that's the Fairlane's mascot, Polar Bear.
All right. Nikki Gianulias with games of 235 and 235 and a strike here to start match number 3.
We're going to have a triplicate, maybe? Do you think?
Do you get a WIBC patch if you get a triplicate?
Probably, yes.
Okay. What if you get 4 235 games?
We'll pat her on
Maybe
the
get
back
like a
and say,
lifetime
nice
membership
going.
or something. Oh, I have a feeling we're in for a real match here in the semifinal contest, because this young lady right here is really bowling well.
Well, we have a real hungry player here in Robin. She has a 5-step delivery, and she's getting the ball out on her 2nd step. She doesn't go quite as far out as her step. And as we see her in slow motion, her higher back swing, a little bit higher than the shoulder. Good knee bend.
Nice reaction. A player that will just pepper the pocket from one end of a bowling center to the other and just play the odds.
She probably has the straightest line to the pocket of all the players out here, but she's also the most deadly accurate player that we know.
But you know what she does? She throws the ball fairly straight and still gets it to hit. Now that's a real trick.
Yes, it is. She gets it to roll, and she uses the ball itself instead of using the lane conditioning. And she puts a lot of rotation on it with her hand.
I just like the way she matches up equipment with angle and speed and loft. She does a lot of things, a lot of subtle things, week in and week out that make her the great player that she is.
She's very versatile. She can hook the ball if she has to hook it, more than what she's doing tonight. She makes good ball changes. In fact, she was talking about one that she made in the 2nd round of qualifying. Just picked up a ball out of nowhere that hadn't used earlier. She should have probably been using something that was shiny, and it was a dull ball, and it worked.
After the re-rack, she has re-racked a number of times on lane 16. Nikki G swings it to the 2 board and pays the price. Leaves the 2-8 and nearly had some company in the 10-pin.
That ball didn't break as sharply as she wanted it, and 2-8-10 wouldn't have been a nice way to start. She shot the ball out there on the 10th frame of the last game, and she got the same reaction. So my guess is that she didn't intentionally do it that time. She probably it got away from her. She might be feeling the effects of some stress here. She's climbing the ladder. She's going to bowl against Robin. Robin's just as hungry as she is.
Beautiful spare conversion. Takes out the 2-8, and we've got an even match here. Yeah, I'm trying to understand why she's playing 16 about 3 or 4 boards further to the right than she did when she had her most success on that lane.
I don't know if she's doing that on purpose. I really don't think
so. She's missing by 4 boards? That's an arrow, Chris.
Oh, it's an arrow, but...
All right. Well, if you're an area player, though, like Nikki is to a certain degree, I guess you're going to miss a little once in a while.
When you have the kind of rotation on the ball, and when it comes back as hard as hers does, sometimes you can get away with it. And that's why she's as successful as she is, because she can make a few mistakes and still get away with them.
Oh, no question. Makes no mistake. This one goes left. And another Brooklyn strike, so that's kind of opposite ends of the spectrum. On the right-hand lane, you throw it too far right, it doesn't get back to the pocket. On the left-hand lane, it's left from the get-go.
I think she was a little gun-shy here. She was probably afraid of going too far to the right, and she looked like she hit about 9 board with this. That's straight up for her, and that ball's going to hook way Brooklyn.
Meanwhile, Romeo just flushes the pocket on lane 16. What's that do to you mentally when your opponent goes up there and throws a runaway Brooklyn?
Well, it depends, I guess, on the player. If you're a good player, you're not going to let it bother you, because the breaks are going to come your way or their way. So you don't want to dwell on that. You just want to go up there and play your own game and try not to pay attention to what's happened to everybody else.
Okay. Dave Davis was the first player I ever saw that looked away, that would absolutely not watch his opponent's ball. Ooh, 7-pin thought about falling and then stayed right there.
Couldn't get that wall shaker that she was trying for. The ball had more rotation coming into the pocket than the last one where she left the weak 10 on it.
I guess there are 2 schools of thought, though, in terms of good breaks and bad breaks. If you don't watch at all, you have no idea what's happened, and if you watch, it could affect you.
I think if you watch too closely, it will affect you, because then you're going to start saying, poor me.
Right.
Boy, that's not fair. And you're never going to win a game that way.
But of course, we know that bowling is such a fair game at times. We're only kidding there. We'll be back. The match is all even. Key shot here for Nikki G after the re-rack, a double.
This is what we were talking about earlier. Now, she hits about the 4 board, and she's going straighter up the lane at it, and a solid strike. So she mustn't want to be swinging too far to the right.
Yeah, see, at 33 feet instead of the 1.5 board, she was on the 4 board. And a nice shot here. So you might be right. You raise up a little bit and you tug it, or you throw it a little bit to the right, and as accurate as they are, they do make mistakes. But 2 beautiful shots there, and now Robin Romeo trails by 20 here in the 5th.
Robin needs a strike. She struck both times on this lane, so I think she likes this lane. Of course, as soon as we say that, something like this happens.
4-7-9 jumps up, and that's a frustrating type of a split because you've thrown a pretty good shot.
Frustrating as all get out, because there's nothing different that you can do not to leave a 4-9.
Needs to pick this up to keep any momentum whatsoever.
She'll try to slide the 4 over into the 9. Just won't work.
A game run at it for Robin Romeo, who opens up in the 5th, and this match swings